And with that, we welcome our Olympic hero, former gold medalist, and, of course, a WWE Hall of Famer. And I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to be that guy. My all-time favorite superstar, Kurt Angle. Welcome to Table Talk. How are you, sir?
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
How is life? Now that you're not on the road as often, you're not competing as often, you actually get to see the family. How are things?
Oh, I love it.
We lost Dvon there. I swear, this is a professional broadcast. I promise you.
If Devon's involved, I don't know.
He said he lost us, but you and I are still here. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him real quick. Hold tight.
I'm here. Hello?
Why are you hanging up on Kurt Angle?
I'm so sorry, guys. Kurt, I'm so sorry. I was trying to look at the time and made a mistake.
That's all right. Don't let it happen again.
Wow. All right. This is how a new feud starts here.
I've been in the ring with Kurt, so I know when he tells you don't let it happen again, don't let it happen again, because you wind up with a broken ankle. I have to say, I've been on the receiving end of that ankle lock, and if anybody out there likes to say that what we do in that ring is fake, let Kurt put you in there with the adrenaline flowing through his body, the crowd cheering him on, and I guarantee you will not think it's fake after.
The problem these days is I'm not so sure I can get on you anymore. I'm old and washed up.
Listen, if there's one thing that I know, and I know for sure, my trainer, Johnny Rods, the guy who taught me, he's about 76, I believe, years old. And every once in a while, I'll go down to his gym, Gleason's Gym in downtown Brooklyn. And as he's teaching class, he will go and pretty much say, "Hey, Dvon, why don't you come and let me put some hold on you?" And I'm like, "No." I said, "You are not ruining anything that I could have possibly done over the years and just make me look like a total ain't happening." So when you tell me things like that, I don't buy it.
I know he's a badass.
Absolutely.
But before Dvon rudely hung up on you, Kurt, we were asking how the new lifestyle is, man.
For a while, the best thing for someone to do when they retire, and Dvon can attest to this, is you probably need to get away from it for a while. And I didn't. I stayed with a company. They offered me a job, and I stuck with it. And I had a hard time for about 6 months of being there and being around the guys and the girls and not being able to perform. It eventually goes away, and then you realize, you're in a different stage in your life. You're in a less selfish phase of your life where you enjoy your family a lot more than you enjoy competing or performing. So I got to that point, and I'm in a good place now. But for a while, I was struggling.
No, I'm glad that you've stated that, because I did want to bring this up, not the actual content of the interview, but the reaction afterwards. You gave an interview recently where you had mentioned that the quality of life wasn't what you expected, and the internet blew up, absolutely taking this out of context. Did you expect any sort of reaction like we got from that?
No, I was utterly surprised. I think Dvon could agree with this, but when you get older and I competed from a very young age, from 7 years old all the way up to I was 50, and either amateur wrestling or pro wrestling. That's a lot of years. That's going to do a lot of damage to your body. Mm-hmm. So, absolutely, my quality of life, it does suck. I'm not going to lie to you, especially staying clean, which I continue to do, and I always will. Your knees, your back, your neck, your shoulders, as you age and you get older, it catches up to you. And, I've said this before, I wanted to come back to WWE and wrestle right away. Unfortunately, that wasn't their plans for me. They wanted me to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, and then they wanted me to be the GM of Raw. And then by the time I, got to wrestling, I wasn't quite the same anymore. Just sitting out that year and a half, I probably only had one or two matches where they, special occasions. I think Survivor Series and tables, ladders, and chairs match where I substituted for Roman Reigns. So that's all I did. And your body gets, when you get older and you're not active, your body gets arthritic, and then you start slowing down. Your neck and your knees and your back start to get tighter. You start getting a lot more pain. So I believe that if I would have stayed active, I would have still been wrestling right now. But we didn't do that. And I'm not blaming the WWE. I don't blame Vince McMahon for doing what he did with me, because two things, I was a liability coming back, because I broke my neck 4 times in WWE in the past, and I had a painkiller addiction. And, the company wanted to tread lightly on water with me when I came back. So I totally get it. And I'm glad they brought me back to induct me in the Hall of Fame. I just would have done it differently. I would have wrestled right away, because I was still wrestling pretty well at that point. I took a year off from TNA, and I did the indie circuit where I only did a handful of matches with Del Rio and a few with Cody Rhodes, one with Rey Mysterio, one with a guy named Zack Sabre Jr., another guy, Joe Coffey from Ireland. So I did these matches, and I was wrestling extremely well. When I got in WWE, they kind of pulled the reins on me and said, "Oh, we're not going to be having you wrestle right away." Taking that time off, sitting around, really affected my body. And I don't know if a lot of young wrestlers, how they feel, but when you do take off, you get a lot more sore when you do it, sporadically. When you're doing it 5 days a week or 4 days a week, you might be sore, but your body's used to the bumping and the grind, and it breaks up the scar tissue bumping on the plywood. You always stay in match shape. When you don't do it for a while, you get really rusty, and when you start aging, it gets even worse.
I can't even imagine the wear and tear on both of your guys' bodies with everything that you guys have done over the years. I think it's easy for us fans on the outside looking in, because you guys make it look so flawless, running the ropes, falling on your back, all of that. So when you admit that, your quality of life sucks because you're beat up, that life has caught up to you, your career has caught up to you, it shouldn't be that surprising, because you have done this day in and day out for decades. So for those who do appreciate what both of you guys have done, thank you. I love both of what you guys have done. Do you think, Kurt, the Jason Jordan angle, did that have anything to do with maybe why you didn't get to wrestle sooner with his injury, that maybe that storyline never played out?
Probably. I think that was part of it. I don't think they have plans for me to wrestle Jason, but I think that would have been a one-off. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I would have been wrestling consistently just because of that. I just really believe that WWE wanted to protect me, and I completely get it. I don't blame them for it, and I'm just happy I came back and I was able to retire where I started. That's all I wanted to do. Absolutely.
Now, do you know where the Jason Jordan storyline was supposed to go?
Basically, what I believe, I'm not going to, verify, but what I believe was Jason was probably going to continue on to being my son. He was going to start being a pain in the ass to me. I probably would have hired him as my assistant GM. He would have started making decisions for me, and it would cause a lot of animosity, and then him and I would have wrestled at WrestleMania instead of Baron Corbin. Obviously, they picked Baron, and, the kid, no matter what you think about him, he's a great in-ring worker. His promo skills have gotten a lot better. He's a big kid, great athlete, and he basically, what I believe, replaced Jason. And what you saw happen with him, I think, was supposed to be with Jason. It was a great opportunity for Baron, and he took it, and he ran with it.